Hello everyone, in Discord I was asked if it is possible to implement a ragdoll system, like the one that is now in the GTA series of games. Of course, I didn't do these, but decided to try. And so, first we need a demo character blueprint. In it, we have to activate the Ragdoll prototype section. By default, it is inactive, but all we need is to connect the outputs of each custom event, as I now do in the video. Also, you can reassign the keys to force entry and exit from Ragdoll. In my case, I will use additional buttons on my mouse. It should work now. Now let's start making collision magic. And in order for this system to work on all types of transport, we will use the vehicle_demo base blueprint. In order for our vehicle to read collisions, we will use box collision. Let's add it to our transport. Add it and let's call it hit box collision. Now let's take our hit box collision and call an event for it, on component begin overlap. Next, let's create a variable to determine the state of our character. It will be a Boolean variable, let's call it as Ragdoll. In order to assign our variable, we must do a speed test. For example, at a speed of 30 km per hour, our character will fly out through the windshield. To do this, we take the getAirspeed function. And if the speed is greater than or equal to 30, use branch. Also, we need to check if the player controls these vehicles, so we look for as player controlled and add it via AND to our branch. After that, assign the variable as Ragdoll to true, and use the server exit vehicle function for this. In this function, we also need to check whether our character is currently in a Ragdoll state or not. The first check will be when determining the coordinates of the exit from the car. Here we put branch here. True is connected to true. The second check will be after we switch to the player controller. At this point, we also set branch. In the first check we will execute true if we are not in a Ragdoll state. To do this, between the isRagdoll variable and the branch, we must use a Boolean not operator. And false is pulled onto the graph. Go ahead and expand the getExitPos graph. Here we save spawn transform position to a variable, and assign it if true, we are not in a Ragdoll state. For false, when we are in Ragdoll, we will use a similar calculation. Let's take and copy some of the calculations, such as get vehicle mesh get world location, and add a small offset to them, let's say 150 units. We also assign it to a variable, and connect it to spawn actor. Now, in this spawn actor, change the collision type to try to adjust location, but always spawn. In short, when we exit the transport, the system places a simple actor at the given coordinates. If it does not intersect with anything, then the player appears in this place. We tell the actor to appear anyway. After we have set up our coordinates, move on. In the second branch, we use appear as Ragdoll variable. And if true, then we pull the node out of our demo character and call start become Ragdoll. Then we detach from vehicle, activate to character movement, and set our isRagdoll variable to false. And then, clear the driver variable. If the value of our branch in the isRagdoll variable is false, then we immediately proceed to clear the driver variable. Next, in netExitVehicle, we must add another branch, immediately after we apply the coordinates obtained earlier to set the player's position. Here we take the pure isRagdoll variable, and if true, then we go along this path to the camera. If false, and we are not in a ragdoll state now, then detach from vehicle and activate to character movement. We are done with setting up an auto, let's move on to setting up a player. Open demo character, detach from vehicle function, and immediately after detach from actor, set branch with isRagdoll variable via not. In true we set everything as it is by default, and in false we write only set animation mode. Just copy it in the mesh link and paste it here. Done. Now, the last thing left for us is to choose what we will go. When I was preparing for this video, I tested everything on a pickup. And it looks spectacular. To configure any vehicle, we go to the Vehicles folder located next to Demo Character. There, we open any blueprint. We have a pickup. And in the Components section we are looking for the hitbox collision that we created at the beginning of the lesson. By default, its coordinates and size are equal to the standard 1 meter cube. We place it the way we want. In our case, we will only read head on collisions. So I'll post it something like this. Great, we can start testing. Before we start, let's put an our pickup and simple block on stage. Let's increase it and make it an obstacle for the transport. Also, set generate overlap events in its settings. We sit down, accelerate, and boom, we take off and roll. To get up, we use the knock that we assigned earlier. Now, we can set up this hitbox on any vehicle, and arrange races in the flat-out style. Well, thank you all for your attention, see you again and bye.